The Eagles already know who is going to replace one of the best wide receivers in the NFC, and the plan is being executed right now at the Jefferson Health Training Complex in front of the new offensive coordinator and Nick Sirianni himself. The trade that will reshape Jalen Hurts' offense is virtually certain, the date is approaching, and the young man who will fill that void has already arrived at the rookie minicamp carrying a trophy that very few college receivers have ever won. But what NFL insiders are saying about this player goes beyond draft hype, and there is a veteran league executive who used the exact words that every Eagles fan needed to hear. I am going to break down everything happening in this offensive transition in Philadelphia, who the rookie is that was chosen to take over the most important role in the receiver room, and why the Eagles' rivals are already worried about what Howie Roseman just built. But first, if you are a true Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because the moves in Philadelphia are accelerating, and I am not letting any of them slip by. Let's get into it. The A.J. Brown trade to the New England Patriots is no longer a rumor. It is a matter of weeks, practically a cap space formality waiting for the right moment on the calendar to be finalized. Brown is away from the spring practices. He is away from the Jefferson Health Training Complex. And the Eagles, who could easily be in silent transition mode right now, are doing exactly the opposite. They are installing the next plan with all the intensity and urgency of an organization that knows the future of its offense depends on a single young man who barely finished playing college football. That young man's name is Makai Lemon. And what insider Jason La Canfora reported for Sports Boom this week is the kind of information that completely changes how Eagles fans need to look at this transition. Lemon was the 20th overall pick in the 2026 draft, a position the Eagles did not originally hold. To get there, Howie Roseman traded the 23rd overall pick and 2 fourth-round selections to move up, 2 fourth-round picks, and a swap within the first round to secure this one name. That alone says everything about the level of confidence the front office has placed in this young player. But who is Makai Lemon? He came out of the University of Southern California, USC, and was the winner of the 2025 Biletnikoff Award, considered the most prestigious honor in college football for the wide receiver position. It is the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy, but specific to receivers. A list of previous winners that includes names like Calvin Johnson, Amari Cooper, and Davante Adams. Lemon is on that list now, at 19 years old with a college resume that put the entire professional league on notice. Physically, Lemon stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 195 pounds, a frame that immediately draws comparisons to DeVonta Smith, who when the Eagles drafted him at the 10th overall pick in 2021, stood 6 feet tall and weighed just 170 pounds. The entire league doubted Smith's body, and Smith became an All-Pro. Howie Roseman has a clear track record of seeing value in receivers that the market underestimates because of size. But what makes Lemon especially interesting for the Eagles in 2026 is not just what he does, it is how he does it, and how that fits with Jalen Hurts' specific characteristics as a quarterback. According to La Canfora, Lemon excels at yards after the catch. He is the type of receiver who catches a short or intermediate route and turns it into an explosive gain in open field. He is twitchy, creates separation easily against defenders, and has the ability to make players miss in space that very few rookies bring into the league already fully installed, and that matters a great deal when you consider Hurts' profile. The Eagles' quarterback, especially after a difficult 2025 season, has been criticized for a tendency to avoid throws into tight windows and to push the ball downfield less frequently than the Eagles would like. It is a criticism that gained traction after the loss to the San Francisco 49ers in the wild card round, and it sits at the center of every conversation about how Sean Mannion, the new offensive coordinator in his first season on the job, is going to redesign the offense in 2026. And that is exactly where Lemon fits like a glove. If Hurts prefers short and intermediate passes that turn into bigger gains through the receiver's individual ability, Makai Lemon is the perfect answer. You do not need a quarterback who slings 50-yard vertical shots to use Lemon efficiently. You need a quarterback who distributes the ball to the right places, and Lemon does the rest. The reaction from rival executives is the detail that stands out most in La Canfora's report. A veteran NFL personnel executive, speaking without identification, said exactly this about Lemon. He is a polished receiver. There is always a learning curve, but I do not think it is a steep one for this kid. Howie pounced on him for a reason. They have big plans for him. Big plans. Those two words, spoken by an executive from another team, someone who has absolutely no interest in praising the Eagles without reason, carry far more weight than any internal analysis ever could. When rivals speak well of a rookie you just drafted, you are on the right track. And there is more. La Canfora put Lemon forward as a dark horse candidate for the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award in 2026. It is a title that a wide receiver has won in 3 of the last 5 seasons. And the argument the insider uses to include Lemon in that conversation is precise. Lemon is going to play on a far more competitive team than most of the other candidates. He will appear in more primetime games. He will be under real pressure in situations that actually matter. He will have beside him an experienced quarterback and a roster that does not depend on him to function, which paradoxically frees the rookie to produce without the weight of the franchise on his shoulders. With him on a far more competitive team than most of the others around him, and likely playing in more primetime games and with more on the line, I would not discount his chances at all, La Canfora wrote. Now let's put all of this in perspective with what the Eagles already have on the field. Philadelphia's offensive line in 2026 is expected to be significantly better than it was last season, a season that ended with heavy criticism of the protection Hurts received in the most critical moments. With an improved line, more time in the pocket for the quarterback, and Makai Lemon as the new primary offensive weapon alongside DeVonta Smith, the Eagles' receiver room in 2026 may surprise far more people than it is surprising right now. Smith and Lemon form a duo with an interesting symmetry. 2 receivers below the league's ideal weight standard, both with above-average speed and technique, and both selected by Howie Roseman in first-round positions that generated skepticism before the draft. If Smith showed what a small receiver can do in the Eagles' system, Lemon has the road paved by his more veteran teammates' experience. There is also a human element to this transition that deserves attention. Brown is away from practices. The situation between him and the coaching staff is well known. The sideline confrontation during the playoff loss to the 49ers, the imminent trade, the distance from the program. And in the middle of all that drama, Lemon arrived at minicamp, participated in the practices, let the coaches see what he has, and walked away with unanimous approval from everyone who was present. While the departure of a dominant veteran was dominating the headlines, the quiet arrival of a rookie was building the next chapter. Sirianni, who is more personally involved in the offensive installation than in previous seasons, watched Lemon work at the Jefferson Health Training Complex this past weekend. What he saw was enough to confirm what the front office already knew. This pick was the right one. The question that remains for Eagles fans is this. Do you believe Makai Lemon has what it takes to replace A.J. Brown as the Eagles' primary offensive threat in 2026? And is the combination of Lemon and DeVonta Smith as the starting receiver duo enough for the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl? Leave your take in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later with the latest Eagles news. Fly, Eagles, fly!